Hello, everyone. Coming up here on the Pro Wrestling Show presents NXT. Yes, NXT, all the action, even the excitement. What is going on with this? As you see right here, this match between Leon Ruff and Isaiah Swerve Scott left a lot of people like, what's going on? And then all of a sudden, this dude from WWE's Most Wanted Treasures that's been the builder providing the assist and helping Swerve Scott win his match against Leon Ruff in that grudge match. Wow. And also, the NXT title picture, the championship match, is looking very large as challengers coming at the Karrion Kross, champion Karrion Kross, as Kyle O'Reilly, Finn Balor, and Pete Dunne all trying to state their claim to be the new number one contender for Karrion Kross's NXT championship. And we'll get to that, and then we'll get to this too. Karrion Kross laid out what's going on with that. By the way, is Gargano won a championship match as well? And La Familia answered the call. They want the challenge for the NXT Cruiserweight and Tag Team titles from its champions. Will they get that challenge? We'll wait and see on that. Plus, the WWE NXT Women's Tag Team titles were on the line as Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart defend their women's tag team titles against the Waves, Candice LeRae, and Indy Hartwell in a sensational women's street fight match for the championship. Did Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae leave with tag team gold? You have to wait and find out. All this and stuff with the Pro Wrestling Show presents the NXT Ring Report after this. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show presents the NXT Ring Report. I'm your host, as always, Kendrick Dix here. Glad you can join us here on the NXT Ring Report. NXT was last night, and we give you a recap and review of what had happened on NXT. But first thing first, join in the conversation using the hashtag NXT Pro Wrestling Show here on Connect. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe is caring. Tell a friend, call a friend, hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing here. As we talk about the NXT Ring Report right now. All right. NXT Ring Report hit with the waves here. A lot of matches going forward on NXT. So let's get started on what had happened. We had a grudge match between Leon Ruff going one-on-one against Isaiah Swerve Scott. This match was so intense. I would say the match was so bell to bell. It was so high paced, high tempo, high spots in the match going forward and stuff. You see right here, Swerve Scott catching Leon Ruff, Leon Ruff playing the babyface, the ultimate underdog. And he did spectacular moves as well. He did this move right here, landing on Ruff. Right here, you see Ruff landing on squat, trying to do an attempt crucifix pin. And then Sir Scott did another pin through Leon Ruff through the pad and through the barricade and stuff. And it was kind of rough and intense. It was a tense moment until this dude right here. Man, many of you may know this dude already. He's on the A&E show, WWE's Most Wanted Treasures, where him and some WWE legends throughout that week go and find, search lost WWE stuff, memorabilia. So he provided assistance. He grabbed Leon Ruff, threw Leon Ruff down, and Isaiah Swerve Scott had assistance. He had help. He had help in the latest by this group, this faction. I don't know if it's Swerve Scott's posse or whatever you want to call it, this gang. They provide the assistance and land and give Swerve Scott the win over Leon Ruff. Leon Ruff put a affordable challenge. He put a affordable task. He tried his best, but it just wasn't good enough in the case of, Swerve Scott had the numbers game. Swerve Scott got this group. Got the dude from WWE's Most Wanted Treasures. We don't know his name. I know of his name, but I seen his face. He's been on WWE Most Wanted Treasures late. And we Shanti Miles and then this lady, they're providing something. We'll probably get some answers next week on what's going on with Swerve Scott and his new faction of his new posse, or what he like to call Swerve City or whatever. He probably gave us the word Swerve City. Also, the NXT's version of the Million Dollar Man, Cameron Grimes, was in action. Cameron Grimes took on the Jobber. See the Jobber trying to drop kick him. Grimes hit that little move. Cameron Grimes becoming an entertaining character. Now, you may recall Cameron Grimes was known as Trevor Lee. He was Bell to Bell, North Carolina caveman. But I think this gimmick of him being like a rich caveman mentality may have worked. Cameron Grimes is providing some charisma. He's got the good wrestling ability, got the skills, got the height, but he's providing good wrestling charisma. And I think that's what WWE is all about, charisma at the end of the day. So Cameron Grimes won his match. And then throughout the match, after the match was over, Cameron Grimes went to the club. Cameron Grimes was trying to get into the club. He couldn't get into the club. He was denied. Next thing you know, the $1 Million Man, WWE Hall of Famer Ted DiBiase came through, and he told him, gave him advice saying, "Why not buy the whole club when you can buy? Why not sit in line at the club when you can buy the whole club?" So Ted DiBiase brought the club and told everybody has a price, even if you're buying at a club. So he brought at a club, Ted DiBiase, real funny. And Cameron Grimes getting his charisma mojo, getting his talking stuff into play right now. So good for Cameron Grimes. Also, tag team action right here. The newly formed team of Timothy Thatcher and Tommaso Ciampa went against I guess the Ever Rising, not Ever Rising, yes, the Grizzly Young Veterans. And they had a smash mouth match, pillar to post. You see right here, hard smash mouth wrestling at its finest right here. This this was the match that was somewhat of a good match. So I think they still won't go against Imperium. I don't know what's the deal with that, but we had to see. And they delivering this right here, Grizzly on Vince and Cameron and Tommaso Ciampa um, and Timothy Thatcher, providing a bell to bell action, bell to bell style. So look for that in the future. This feud is far from over, in my long estimation. Also, NXT champion Karrion Kross, along with Lady Scarlett Bordeaux, came out there to address the crowd. And Karrion Kross said he's been wanting some challengers for the couple of weeks. He wants someone to step up and challenge him for the NXT title. Well, Kyle O'Reilly right here came out and won a piece. Now, a lot of people are saying Kyle O'Reilly is dressing like a certain individual that we all know, Orange Cassidy from AEW. Now, if this is WWE's version of Orange Cassidy, then that's their business. But you got to be different. You got to be original. You have to stand outside. And Kyle O'Reilly, he's been wrestling with Orange, along with Orange Cassidy for nearly 10 years. Now, I don't know if WWE's trying to find his character or find the character within him. We just don't know. But Kyle O'Reilly is a great serious wrestler and could be NXT champion along the way one day. So I can see that. But Kyle O'Reilly was not to be disappointed, as right here Pete Dunne came out there and interrupted and said he wants a piece across. Kross saying, okay, Kross getting some challenges. And they want a piece of Karrion Kross, one of the worst way in the shape of form. Karrion Kross even got the returning appearance of former NXT champion Finn Balor. Finn Balor came out there, won a piece of Kross. Kross took the NXT championship from Balor at the NXT Takeover special. So Finn Balor wants his receipt and wants way would to get the NXT championship back from Karrion Kross. So hey, Finn Balor looking to get his rematch. He has not invoked the rematch clause, so we anxiously awaiting on Finn Balor getting that rematch down the road with him and Karrion Cross. I would love to see it one more time. Balor and Cross one more time. Let's see who is the NXT. Karrion Cross is the NXT champion, but let's see who has the guts, the test to being NXT champion. Speaking of that, the NXT champion thought he was done with Balor, done in O'Reilly until the Ways North American champion Johnny Gargano and his pupil, his protege, Austin Theory came from behind, kicked Cross from super kicked him after Theory was in the GM office, William Regal, and he had asked William Regal, and he said some little outlandish thing to Scarlett Bordeaux. Scarlett didn't take wisely, and Scarlett thought he was looking at her bosoms, but um, Theory was looking at her nails and how long her nails was. And Theory and Gargano laid out Cross, who's laid out. So we know next week that Cross will take on Theory one-on-one. And like Karrion Cross said, that he is going to make an example out of Theory, worst way or the other, real soon on that situation and stuff, how that's going to play out. I don't feel, I kind of feel sorry for Austin Theory on the worst way and worst how. Austin Theory is not going to make it during his match against Karrion Cross. The Karrion Cross looks hot and angry and mad too that he wants to get his hands on Theory. Worst way in form. Also, NXT Women's Action. Saraya is in action against Booker T's pupil, AQA. I forgot her name. They had a good, decent match right here. Saraya trying to in her second match on NXT, trying to get the footwork and stuff together. You see right here, landing AQA down. So Saraya won her match. Saraya is becoming a international talent. We haven't seen Io Shirai lately. We've seen Asuka. So Asuka was the one that kind of led that movement where you saw Asuka. You saw Asuka becoming the longest reigning NXT Women's Champion. Io Shirai, Kairi Singh. The list goes on and on. WWE is the breeding ground for these new Japanese talents to get themselves over in a way. But I hate it when they go to the main roster and they doesn't do nothing with them. Like they did something with Asuka, they kind of like they had a yo-yo effect. Like Asuka would go up, sometimes Asuka will go down. And I kind of wish WWE would be a little bit stronger through its Japanese market and stuff. You had Shinsuke Nakamura, got Asuka. So continue that momentum, and then next thing you know, they drop them down and hold them back. Can't hold folks back. Got to let them push them. Got to push them as far as you can push them. Speaking of being someone who could be pushed sooner rather than later, LA Knight, who likes what I'm known to call him is Eli Drake. LA Knight made his wrestling appearance again. He went against Jake Atlas. Jake Atlas from the Big Brother, Big Boss, what that TBS show? Undercover Boss. Yeah, Undercover Boss. And Atlas was trying to win against Knight. I like to say Eli Drake, but hey, I don't care. Eli Drake took on Jake Atlas. Good, phenomenal matchup. Eli Drake showed his skills. They even did during the commercial. Eli Drake was in the commercial with Nature Boy Ric Flair with the car insurance commercial. Good commercial. There's a lot out there. So when you see it with Ric Flair on there. It's circulating around. Good matchup right here. You see right here, Jake Atlas trying to use his knees to kick up Eli Drake. Eli Drake won the match with using his move, the finisher. Look for Eli Drake / LA Knight. He's going big places. I said that before. Eli Drake is a star in the making. Now, I think he's the perfect prototype for Mr. McMahon's. Mr. McMahon want to talk, but he has the height. He has the ability. He has the gift of gab. He has the in-ring ability. So I know if Mr. McMahon gets on him, then something ain't right with Mr. McMahon. This man had that with EC3. EC3 changed his look, changed his attitude, changed his appearance. He's no longer the EC3 that we once knew. So I hate that, but it is what it is. And I hope EC3 gets success somewhere else. Speaking of that, La Familia was in that. La Familia came out there for that in-ring segment, and they talked about they want their goals back. They want the NXT Cruiserweight goal and the tag goals back, and they're gonna do so way. They were just talking about providing issue that they want MSK, the team, the little team. They want them for the tag team titles. And then Kushida came out and said, "Hey, okay, you want gold, you'll get that." So I don't know. Well, we know it's gonna be the Cruiserweight Championship is gonna be on the line. So the Cruiserweight gold, Kushida defends his Cruiserweight title against La Tasma. So that's gonna be a phenomenal match to watch as well. So we'll see on that. I don't know about the tag team goal, but it's likely it's going to happen sooner rather than later. Speaking of tag team gold, the main event was Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart defend their women's tag team titles against the Waves, Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. It was a hard-fought match between these four lovely women battling out for the tag team gold. And you can see right here, Shotzi Blackheart giving Indy Hartwell elbow drop, even a version of the Coast to Coast by Shotzi and Ember Moon to Indy, dropping her unconscious for a minute. And then next thing you know, Ember Moon taking Indy to the chair, swinging her to a chair. And you see right here, Shotzi Blackheart and Candice putting their body through the line throughout every moment. And you see right here, they driven her through the table on the side. Ember Moon, she's losing a lot of weight, so she's losing her baby weight. Still in the room, looking good. Shotzi Blackheart looking good. All the women looking good in this match. Even this right here, amazing. Shotzi Blackheart did a diving crossbody through the table, through Indy Hartwell, crashed her down. And you see right here, Indy Hartwell doing the same to Ember Moon, dropping her down. And next thing you know, Candice LeRae did the move on Shotzi, that little move to the chair. And next thing you know, we have new women's tag team champions in Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae. Candice LeRae finally win NXT Women's Gold. It's tag gold, not singles gold, but she's getting there. So congratulations in order to the Waves, Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell in a fantastic victory. All right. That ends the NXT Ring Report. Speaking of next week, a women's championship match as well as the women's champion Raquel Gonzalez defend against that woman. I forgot that woman's name, but he gonna defend against her next week. Forgot her name, but you know how they go. So, all right. Also, we're supposed to have a Macho Man documentary review on A&E. If you saw the Macho Man's Randy Savage story on A&E, phenomenal. Macho Man Randy Savage, one of the all-time greats in the WWE. Randy Macho Man Savage and got his biography premiered. Randy Savage was that macho and a man. Randy Savage was a man's man. Randy Savage became WWE champion throughout the late 80s to the early 90s. Randy Savage, unfortunately, this coming year will be the 10th anniversary of the Macho Man's passing, but the Macho Man lives on. Man, it's been 10 years since Randy Savage has passed away. What a legacy. Randy Savage was that macho. He talked about his struggles, him being to become a baseball player, his ambitions, his early days in Kentucky and Memphis, him getting prominence in the WWE, becoming the Macho Man Randy Savage, his outfits. And one thing I did not know about Randy Savage was they said Randy Savage portrayed his outfits as a pimp attire. Macho Man Randy Savage from the 70s and 80s. I said, wow, I didn't know that, but it was in my face all this time. The Macho Man Randy Savage left a lasting legacy They even talk about the darker side too, where during his WCW days, where he was leaving from the lead WWE, and he felt like he had one more good run left in him. He went to WCW, become WCW champion, and then once he became champion, he still became popular with Slim Jim, all of that nature. But then Macho Man Randy Savage started using a little drugs, and then Elizabeth as well. We all know what happened to Elizabeth. We had to get to that, but Randy Macho Man Savage, um, coming up next week will be his 10th anniversary since his passing. And we honor Macho Man Randy Savage, a living legend. Randy Savage is that, a true living legend who will never be forgotten. So Randy Savage will live on, especially in this lifetime. Even to Brian Pillman tomorrow night. Even you can watch the first episode of Dark Side of the Ring. Brian Pillman having his version of Dark Side of the Ring. He passed away nearly 25 years ago. Brian Pillman was that, a loose cannon, and Brian Pillman's story will be told by the friends and loved ones that knew him best. Brian Pillman was that, a loose cannon from WCW to Canada to WWE. They talk about Brian Pillman. If you want to watch the first Dark Side of the Ring, it's a part two series. The second part two series comes tomorrow. Brian Pillman was that. He lived life to the edge, and he was that. So it's available on Vice's YouTube channel, website, every on demand. If you have Vice on demand, it should be easy to get Vice TV, even if you want to see the first episode. Real good stuff by Dark Side of the Ring. They really provide good content, so look forward for that. Also, SmackDown will have Throwback SmackDown next week on Fox. This Friday on Fox. I meant to say this Friday. So we don't know what legends from the past will be coming out. So we have to watch and see. I think they ought to do the Attitude Era SmackDown version. That'd be more intriguing. And tonight is the night. Blood and Guts. Blood and Guts coming tonight in under an hour away. We see right here MJF ready for his team, the Pinnacle, the team of MJF, Warlow, FTR, Dash, and Darcy, and Sean Spears. They take on the team of the right here, the Inner Circle, Chris Jericho's group, Sammy Guevara, Santana, Ortiz, Jake Hager. So it's a match that everybody wants to see, and I think that's gonna be the match everybody's going to see. So I'm going with the Pinnacle. The Pinnacle, in my opinion, will win. The Inner Circle has been established, but life must go on for the inner circle. But I believe the Pinnacle will emerge victorious. Look for the Pinnacle to win Blood and Guts tonight. Also, Darby Allin, we don't know, is he going to be in action tonight? I think he is. I think he's going to be in action against somebody. We just have to see. I forgot who he's going to be in action against. I think either Matt Hart, one of Matt Hart's group mates or something. But hey, Darby Allin providing the assist. All right, y'all. Thank you for watching this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show for NXT Ring Report. I've been your host, Kendrick Dix, saying so long, and we'll see you tonight for AEW Blood and Guts. See you later.